Harmeet Dillon here is from the Office of Civil Rights at the Department of Justice, Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. So let me ask you, Harmeet, what can everyday people do? What lawsuits can everyday rank and file people do and place that could potentially be helpful for what your department is trying to accomplish?
That's a great question, Charlie. So when I was a young lawyer, which is a long time ago, there were actually very few outlets for people to sort of write the balance the way that we're doing today at the DOJ. And all of the nonprofits were more on the left side. Today, there are quite a few options for people who have a case involving civil rights, and you can kick that off. I mean, I will tell you, like, I'm frustrated by the pace of government. It's not something that we control, but there is a number of hurdles you have to jump through when you're bringing a case for the government. And so people can get more quickly into court sometimes by working with a good nonprofit or private practice lawyer to bring their case. And the United States Department of Justice has the ability to get involved in those cases in multiple different ways. First of all, we can file something that's called a statement of interest, which is kind of like an amicus brief, a friend of the court brief, if you will, at the trial court level. And DOJ frequently does that in different cases. DOJ, another branch of the DOJ today, just did that in the Huntington Beach case involving citizenship issues. And so we do that all the time. You can also intervene in a case. So if someone's brought a great case involving an important issue, we can make a motion to intervene. We did that earlier this week in Washington State, where there was a situation where the state passed a law, I think it's called 5375, I think that's the number of the law, that pierces or purports to pierce the Catholic priest penitent privilege. Say that quickly 3 times. And that law is unconstitutional because it forces priests to choose between betraying their faith or following the law of man, and that's not right in our country. And so we filed a motion to intervene as a plaintiff in that case. We joined a lawsuit that was already ongoing, and there are a couple of other lawsuits ongoing, or I understand planned in that state as well. And so that's a way that we can get involved. And then the third way is, of course, like the lawsuit we filed today in Orange County. We can file our own lawsuit. We also file and argue amicus briefs. There was a case of Laura Libby, a legislator in Maine who supported girls being able to win trophies in girls' sports, and she was stripped of her voting rights in Maine by the Maine speaker. And so we filed an amicus brief in the First Circuit, and I went up to Boston and argued that case. That's another way that we can get involved. It was an excellent lawsuit brought by excellent lawyers, friends of ours from the private practice world. And they did a great job on her behalf, but we argued the United States' interest in that, which is you can never strip away the voting rights of the voters in that district. That's a violation of the Voting Rights Act. So there's so many different ways that we can get involved, but people don't have to wait for the government. And just another thing to point out, Charlie, is even if we're fully staffed, there's no way that we can take on every single civil rights issue in the United States. What we try to do is pick cases that'll have the biggest impact. As I mentioned, right now we're down in strength because a lot of the lawyers who worked here a few months ago didn't want to work here anymore when they learned that their job wasn't going to be doing their pet projects anymore. And so we are, doing a lot with less, and so people can get into court more quickly if they get a good lawyer.
Harmeet Dillon really is now the tip of the spear. She is the piercing authority of this new Trump government for all civil rights violations. So when people are discriminating against Asians, against white people, against Christians, against Jews, it's all going to go through the Office of Civil Rights. Harmeet, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much. God bless you.